So Trump went live at 10 a.m. to announce that under the holy banner of emergency powers, translation, whatever the hell he wants, he's putting federal boots on the ground in D.C. Of course, the first thing he mentions is the size of the crowd in the press room. Immediately shifts to the new ballroom idea, because nothing says constitutional crisis like flexing about your square footage. Then came the wandering PowerPoint. Charts, crime stats, and random anecdotes. He mentioned this weird vague story of a friend named Mike Gill, all while blaming Democrat-run cities for being so far gone. His solution? Go farther than anyone before. That's never been a good sign in history books. This all supposedly started because a former Doge employee, Big Balls, got mugged. From that one incident, we now get curfews and militarized streets. He ordered officers to just knock them the hell out. Yes, those exact words. Which is about as subtle as Hitler telling the Reichstag to do whatever the hell they want. And because Trump's greatest hits always include fear-mongering, we got a detour into trans people and transports. You know, the pressing issue when you're seizing control of the capital city's police force. He flat out handed D.C. policing authority to Pam Bondi, effectively turning the DOJ into his personal law firm. He bragged about federal agents, National Guard, and even the military, as if soldiers in your streets make you feel more secure. In what world? Not mine. Migrants? According to him, all criminals. 7 in 10 ICE detainees have no criminal history. That doesn't mean that they didn't commit a crime, but that also means that they weren't given their due process to find out in court. But facts weren't the purpose of this press conference. Instead, we get Doug Burgum and Pete Hegseth polishing the regime's boot while bragging about graffiti removal and zero border crossings, which is not the win he thinks it is. The lies came rapid fire, like Janine Pirro suggesting she needs the right to fight back against teenagers, or Kash Patel peddling crime stats stripped of any context that might make them true. Oh, and crime rates? They're at historic lows. What we just saw in that press conference was not law and order. It was power consolidation. It was a test run for bypassing states, bypassing Congress, and running the country like one of his many failed businesses. If DC had statehood, this wouldn't even be possible. He mentioned hosting the war criminal Putin after blaming Biden for the Ukraine war, and of course mentioned rigged elections. He ended with a wave of executive orders citing Section 40 of the Home Rule Act, like it's a magic spell that makes the Constitution optional. Spoiler! It's not. This is what happens when you elect a convicted felon surrounded by Fox News outcasts who think the Bill of Rights is a cocktail menu. And make no mistake, this wasn't about safety, it was about control. He said he believes that Ukraine OD'd on all of our support, which is of course false. That war started when Putin invaded a sovereign country, not because Joe Biden hurt his feelings. He then bragged about his peace plan, which apparently involves swapping land between Russia and Ukraine, as if he can treat another nation's territory like a monopoly board. Instead, he plans to meet with the aggressor without Ukraine even at the table. That's not diplomacy, that's surrender with hors d'oeuvres. Among the many crazy things that he claimed during this press conference, he also mentioned a 10-year jail sentence for anybody who messes with any monuments. He threatened to fire any officials who were quote-unquote weak. He said he's negotiated peace deals from 5 different conflicts, which is easily verifiably false. No actual peace deal has been negotiated in any of these ongoing conflicts. The streets of our nation's capital will be crawling with armed federal agents, National Guard, and possibly military. Not because of a genuine emergency, but because one man decided his ego counts as one. This is fascism in its purest form. The executive branch seizing local authority, criminalizing dissent, and using state violence to impose a minority's will. If you voted for this, if you're cheering for this, if you told yourself it was keeping us safe, you can rot in whatever hell you believe in. Because you didn't just hand over your freedom, you handed over everyone else's too. And history has a special place for people like that. It's called the losing side.